Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, members of the European Parliament. Good afternoon to MEP Maxova. Good afternoon, MEP Bukachevska, for difficult names, but I've been practicing. I've been promised that you were actually a fantastic crowd, so I hope you will prove me not wrong. My name is Rijkens. I'm 49 years old. I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm very happy to also may introduce you to my daughter, India, oldest daughter I must say, and to my wife, Manon, only wife, who will also address you in a minute. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here and to raise this important topic, the topic on cardiovascular health. Not to be mistaken with cardiovascular disease, as there is a very big difference in those two. So the topic cardiovascular health is what we're talking about today. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank the previous speakers and to share their personal stories with you. And I personally would also like to share my story. And in order to do so, I would like you to go back in time for about 12 years. About 12 years from now, I actually stopped with playing field hockey on a competitive level, and I was looking for new drives, new goals on a sportive level, and I found that in running. So 12 years ago, I ran my first marathon. It was in Rotterdam. It was very hot, and also because of that, I didn't reach my goal to actually finish within the 4-hour range. So the year after, I had to do a rerun in Utrecht, where it was raining, and I did finish in 3 hours and 45 minutes. So at that time, I was really proud of myself, and I was, as you can imagine, as fit as can be, because if you just ran 42 kilometers, you've practiced weeks and weeks for this, so I was really fit. Not even a year later, how contradictory that was when I was confronted with a heart attack, all out of the blue. That was a complete shock to me and to my family, and at first I did not believe the doctors. I really thought they were looking at a different file from a different patient. But they were true, and they even had some more bad news for me, as they said that the conditions were so dramatic that open heart surgery was needed, and in that surgery they gave me 7 bypasses. The doctors also had some good news, or at least that's what I thought that was at the moment, because I didn't have any known risk factors. It was just a matter of bad luck. And after rehabilitation, which took me a year, a really frustrating year, which I was really low in energy. I didn't work. My family really had a challenge with me because, they were on my nerves because I didn't have the energy to cope with them. So after that year of rehabilitation, I could actually live happily ever after, because it was bad luck. 3 years later, however, again bad luck occurred, and I had a second heart attack, and a stent surgery was needed in order to do a repair. Again, rehabilitation was needed. So again, frustrations, fear, worry. And after that, it took me another 4 years in order to find out that it was not bad luck, but it was actually genetics. Which caused my situation, so high elevated levels of lipoprotein A. And knowing what I know now, or knowing what we found out at that time, was really frustrating, because that should have been discovered many years before, because elevated lipoprotein A is actually not a rare disorder. I accidentally say disorder instead of disease. So it's not a rare disorder. It actually, 1 out of 5 people are affected by it. So take a look around. There's lots of people here. So if 1 out of 5 people in this room are at risk for cardiovascular, well, diseases in this case, it's quite frustrating and quite alarming. As mentioned before, my situation came with big challenges, both physically and mentally, worry and fear, and that did not only affect me as a patient, so that does not only affect the patients beside me, but it affects much more people within the European Union, sorry, because it affects the people around us as well, our families, our friends. So making improvements on cardiovascular health will have an impact which goes way beyond the patients themselves, and that's why I would like to share Manon. Well, not share Manon, sorry. I would like to give Manon the floor in order to go into that detail. Thank you.
Well, that part wasn't rehearsed, so that surprised me a little bit. But good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to speak to you all. As you know, I'm the wife of Mark, and together we have 3 children, India, our oldest daughter, and also Bo and Arbo, who are at home. But today I'm not standing here just for my family alone. I'm standing here for all families that count on your support as voters and on your support. So when Mark's condition was there, it was really tough for us. Mark events and also his rehabilitation happened. It was tough going on as a family to support Mark as a caregiver and also do my job in between and try to worry as less as possible. This would not have been necessary if there has already been a European cardiovascular health plan earlier. At our case, there was not. Mark and 2 of my girls have elevated LPA, as Mark told you. The only thing we can do at home is try living as healthy as possible. So we play sports, we do not smoke, we keep a low-fat diet, and that's most of it. But to prevent events, we really need medication. So in order of this medication, there is need for more research and more development. Without medication, another cardiac event will happen. Now, we'll ask you, feel your own heartbeat. And think of your loved ones. Are you sure there is no cardiovascular problems there? Early detection and screening is really, really important. Diane, Uli, David, Mark thought they were, at one point in their lives, were really healthy too. The European Cardiovascular Health Plan will change lives and help other families prevent what happened to mine and lots of other families. So, I would like to ask, help the future generation. Therefore, I strongly ask you all to vote in favor of this plan next year. And talking about this next generation, I would like to give my daughter India the opportunity to speak the last couple of words. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is India Rijkens, and I'm here today as a representative of my generation, as a European citizen, and as a daughter. To highlight my experience, I would like to share the following poem. I was 12 years old, and my dad came home not feeling well. I was alone with him and my sisters, confused and unable to react properly. At 13, my dad had his open heart surgery. I was not scared because I did not yet understand the severity of the situation. I'm 16. My English teacher calls on me in front of the class. She says, "It's okay if you are distracted today because your father has his big heart surgery." Then she puts on a video on cardiovascular health, and all eyes turn to me. My dad feels a little off the weather. I am 18 and I do not leave his side. I turn 21. A footballer on TV has a heart attack, and in turn, I have a panic attack in the middle of a party. An ambulance passes my bike, and I'm taken back to the first responders in our living room. Setback after setback tries to knock him down. Not only did he get back up, but he mastered his own faults. I'm the proudest to be the daughter of my father, for he's the strongest man I know. My mother standing at his side, they are a force of nature when combined. I am my parents' daughter, and that's all I'll ever know. My purpose here today is to vouch for an improvement in cardiovascular health so that no family has to experience what my family has in the past years. Stories like ours were never and should no longer be acceptable, now that you have the power to change it. It is your responsibility to make sure that the next generation does not have to suffer the consequences of preventable cardiovascular disease. Thank you very much.